and welcome to Craig's Gun Channel, Random Shots. For those of you, if this is your first time, you're not sure, this is the show where we basically talk about anything that's firearm or 2A related. So whether that be politics, current events, conspiracy theories, firearms themselves, anything like that is a possible subject for us to talk about. So basically, pretty much anything we want to talk about, and if you don't like it, well, I don't know what to say. So, but with that being said, we appreciate your comments and feedback. So if there is something that you would like us to discuss or mention or whatever, please let us know. We'll take a look at that. If you comment during the show, we'll try to work your comments in as well, because we appreciate the interaction. As always, if you like this type of content, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified when we release new content. And usually, a lot of the content is just like pre-recorded, so to speak. The Random Shots is the live show on Thursdays. Now, next week is not going to be a live show, just due to scheduling conflicts. So it'll be a recorded show, but we will be doing it as a premiere. So we'll be watching it for the first time with everyone. And I think we're both going to try to be available to answer and respond to comments and stuff on there as well. So anything you wanted to say or add?
Nope. Welcome. I see Mike's out in the audience right now. How you doing, Mike? Hopefully we see a lot of chatter out there today, and we'll keep an eye on it and give some shout outs. So let's get it rolling.
Okay, let's get going. So first of all, one of the things I want to bring up is a new product release. Go ahead and pull this up here. There we go. I think this is something cool. Now this is the Beretta's PMX-S. So their PMX is actually a submachine gun developed for military and police use. So not available to us mere mortal civilians. This is the S version, which is semi-automatic. Now, to be fair, they actually released this officially in like 2022, at 2022 SHOT Show. Actually, it might have even been the year before that. However, like many things that are released at SHOT Show, it never really came to the market. Yeah. But now it's official. You can actually go out and find these. They're still kind of limited, but they're available. So let's see. After years of refinement of the PMX for military and law enforcement agencies around the globe, the PMX-S has been translated into a semi-automatic pistol variant for civilian and modern sporting applications. The PMX-S is a highly reliable and proven direct blowback design, coupled with modern polymer components to enhance durability and save weight. Packed with versatile features such as fully ambidextrous controls for user adaptability, multiple attachment points such as QD and sling mounts, and a 1/2x28 TPI threaded barrel for accepting 9mm muzzle devices. Yes, this is a press release. So, suggested MSRP is $14.99. I've already seen some street pricing at around $13.99, so about $100 less. It is a single action, 9mm semi-automatic, 6.9-inch barrel. It's threaded 1/2x28. 30-round magazine, 9.8 inches high, 16.4 inches long, 2.8 inches wide, ambidextrous safety. It's a little on the chunky side. It's 88 ounces unloaded. So, I mean, it's not a lightweight. But if you take a look at that, I'm going to pull this picture up.
I like the way it looks.
I think it looks cool. Now, the upper left and upper right pictures, that's the fully stocked version, which, I'll be honest, I'm sure they intended to release this in the U.S. with a pistol brace, but we all know what's happening with those. So those are pictures of what it would look like with a stock. I guess if you filled out all the paperwork and stuff, you could do that. Generally speaking, it's going to be available as a pistol, is how they're going to sell it in the U.S., and that is the larger, lower picture. So it's the same gun, just without the brace thing on the back.
Wasn't the congressional hearing today on that?
Actually, I think you might be right on that.
I think it was today, so maybe we'll have some news upcoming for you on that. I didn't catch any blips off of the Twitters, but I think that happened today.
Yeah, we'll need to check up on that and try to find out what's going on, and maybe try to get a release out there to you. But I just think this is a cool looking gun. It's on the pricey side. It's $14.99 MSRP. When the price all settles down, it's from Beretta, so I think that $13.99 is probably going to be a fairly solid street price. You're not going to, pick this up for cheap. And yes, it's just another sub-gun style in 9mm direct blowback.
Now, you're a Beretta guy.
I am a Beretta guy.
Is this on your radar?
Not really. Mostly because this is the same market segment as the CZ Scorpion, as the B&T, as as the name 20 of the other ones that are out there already on the market. Now, the other ones don't say Beretta on it.
That's right.
So I can't say I'll never end up with one, but it's not one I'm going to rush out and get. But I do think it looks cool, so I wanted to kind of get this out there.
So we've got a new watcher, 7 Beetles of Doom. I like your name, number 1. 7 Beetles of Doom has a question for you, Craig. What will we see first from High Point? A High Point shotgun or a High Point AR-15?
Wow, that is an interesting question. Honestly, I don't think you'll see either one from High Point.
No?
No, they kind of have a lane, and they stay in it. And to be honest, they're running full tilt manufacturing, and they still can't really keep up with demand.
So they're not going to add another whole line.
I would be surprised.
I think that if you had to choose one of these that they might try to do, it'd be the shotgun.
If they were going to try one, I would say yes, shotgun, because from a technical aspect, a shotgun is easier. There's less chamber pressures, all that kind of stuff.
I see them trying to get into a quasi-tactical home defense look.
Yeah.
With it, not a standard, hunting shotgun or something like
I would
that.
agree with that.
Probably not even an AR style or a carbine style shotgun like the name one.
So, like the tactical type shotgun?
Yeah.
Well, you got the Tavors, you got
Tavor,
the UTAS 15, the Keltec KSG, KS7, the KSG 410, which I am looking forward to that one.
Well, we just answered your question, 7 Beetles of Doom. I think I didn't even see that, so that was good foreshadowing. What would a High Point shotgun even look like? My guess, and it's only an uneducated guess, would be something home defense-y.
Yeah, I imagine it would be a quasi-tactical, similar to their carbine rifle. Yeah. Looks tactical, isn't really.
Right.
I imagine that a shotgun would go down kind of the same way. So, interesting question.
Thanks for the question. Yep. Hope we see more questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Next, are you ready for next segment?
Yep. Let's
so this segment I'm going to do is part 2 in a series. About 2 months ago, we did a series on anti-gun companies that hate your guts and do not deserve your money. This is going to be part 2. Part 1 was pretty successful, but let's see what you think about this one. I used to be cut from the cloth that I thought boycotts were what the other side did, and they were childish and really had no point. However, morphing and evolving into where we are today, I've seen that their boycotts and their enraged over whatever and causing these boycotts against conservative companies or conservative people are effective. So I'm kind of morphing over into the side of that we as conservatives in Second Amendment rights advocates need to start playing the game, become a player in the game.
I would agree with that.
The game's already here. It's being played.
It's been played for a while.
And we're getting thumped.
Yes.
So I don't believe that boycotts are stupid, unproductive, and childish anymore. I think it's something that we need to get involved with. Look at the impact just in the last 2 weeks with the Bud Light, with what they did and that backlash, $4 billion in lost revenue. Over and over and over again, people are swearing that they'll never buy another Bud Light, and some people are saying Anheuser-Busch is, needs to bear the brunt of this too, because Bud Light is part of Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch has, 15 to 20 different labels that they carry under the Anheuser-Busch. I used to drink Shock Top once in a while. I'm done with them. But some people are going as extreme as Kid Rock, destroying his cases of Bud Light with a shotgun. And
that was a machine gun he used.
A machine gun. Yep. I saw somebody with a steamroller. I
saw that one too.
Driving over cases.
That looked interesting. That reminded me of Prohibition, actually.
Yeah, that's kind of like a Boston Tea Party, right? Fact is, the left has mastered the art of inflicting real monetary consequences on its opponents, us, for anything and everything that makes them wet their whitey-tighties. The rules have changed. It's time for cutesy time to be over. It's time for us to join the fight. It's time for the side of the good to quit letting these crybabies walk all over us and speak the only language that they seem to understand, which is severe monetary losses. So here are some suggestions on part 2 of anti-gun companies that do not deserve your cheddar. All right, first one, 20/20 eye care. For those of us that are getting up there in age where our eyes are starting to do crazy things, 20/20 eye care may be one of the choices in your location. I would urge you to look for a competitor.
Yep.
Have you ever used them?
20/20, actually, I never have.
I've seen a couple of them around Columbus, but I've never used them either. I actually use, I have an eye doctor that I just go through them.
Yeah, I have an independent that I use as well. Yep.
Second one, Bad Robot. You ever see that after the video or
Yep.
after the movies?
Yep.
Bad Robot. So that's a company that has donated quite a few dollars and in-kind donations to anti-Second Amendment politicians, etc. Number 3, Beyond Meat. I don't see anybody in our viewing audience that will give up a good steak burger.
Yeah, there might be some, but I would be a little surprised too.
So Beyond Meat is a plant-based vegan meat that is tasty. This is their website. That's tasty and better for you and for our planet. Right there, it's like ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
So cow farts. This company's hoping that you hate cow farts so much that you'll give up your steak burger. This company, like all the others we have and will review, does not want you to be able to exercise your Second Amendment rights. They hate you, so don't give them your money. However, judging by Beyond Meat's stock price, not too many other people actually like the taste of their meat. I did a little research on that. There's been a 63% loss in the stock price over the last year for Beyond Meat. So they may be a company that's going out anyways. So let's help them along.
Let's hope so. And the only thing I can say with this is, my wife, I don't understand why sometimes, but she loves me, so she's trying to keep me kicking. So we've tried all kinds of stuff to try to get my cholesterol and stuff under control, and not meaning to overshare, but what I'm trying to get by is we've tried all these various things to try to not eat as much meat.
Yeah.
Almost invariably, if you're trying to make something that's intended to be meat, but isn't, it doesn't taste like meat.
Yeah.
I don't mind vegetables and stuff, so just go ahead and don't eat meat.
Give me a salad.
If you feel this need that you have to somehow recreate meat, in my mind, I don't understand why you're doing that. And,
I don't know. I've heard other sides of it, Craig, that meat's really not what's causing cholesterol. It's the sugars, it's the carbs.
I like those too, though.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to cut anything, and I'm not a doctor, I just know that there's different viewpoints from doctors in the know that actually promote a meat-based diet.
Yep.
But you have to cut the sugars, and you have to cut the carbs, and you have to cut the starches.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you need to eat in moderation.
That's right.
And nature, generally speaking, if you eat real food and not processed crap, and I would call a fake meat product as some kind of processed crap, just my opinion, just eat real food, I think you'll probably be okay.
I don't see any of our viewers having a problem with staying away from Beyond Meat.
No, I think we're probably safe with that.
All right, next one, Bloomberg.
It isn't so.
I know, does that surprise anybody? Bloomberg's a privately held financial software, data, and media company headquartered in Midtown Manhattan. It's co-founded by ex-presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg in 1981.
Or as I like to call him, you can't have a large soda drink.
Yes, I remember that. So that goes without saying. I'm not going to hang on that one too long. Bloomberg's a douche. Next one. This is one that you may not have heard of before, but it's popular among kids right now. And parents maybe not being in tune to what their kids are watching and what their influences are, which I'm guilty. But Brat TV is a digital media network which was launched in 2017 and is available on YouTube. The network features original shows and it is intended for teenagers of Generation Z. The original script features popular teenage social media celebrities and videos ranging from 6 to 25 minutes long. Decidedly anti-gun, but more than likely they're promoting all the other
So this is
far
another
left garbage.
indoctrination programming.
Yes, it is. It is. So Brat TV, check out if your kids are actually watching that on the tubes. Next one, Bumble. Bumble is an online dating application. Craig, I think you just deleted your account.
You weren't supposed to say anything. Actually, I'd never heard of this.
Bumble profiles of potential matches are displayed in the to users who can swipe left to reject a candidate or swipe right to indicate interest. And listen to this. This is great. In heterosexual matches, only female users can make the first contact. So this is this is kind of a feminist.
So it's kind of a sexist thing too.
While in same-sex matches, either person can send a message first. What a crock of crap. For all you dating fools out there, farmers.com is the only way to go. Next one, Cambly. Cambly gives you instant access to native English speakers or other video chats so you can learn and gain confidence. Practice English conversation, take an English course, or learn to ace the IELTS, whatever that is. Cambly tutors are dynamic native speakers from the United States, Canada, UK, and Australia. So this is one of those like Babbel, Duolingo, learn to speak a language, but it's to learn learn English.
Okay.
Not seeing that a bunch of our viewers are going to be using that, but I thought I'd throw that out there. Next one, Catch and Release. Catch and Release is a VC-backed technology company that enables brands and their agencies to source and license premium content from anywhere on the internet for use in commercial advertising campaigns. So never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
I'm going to move on. Clever. Clever is a digital learning platform for this one's a good one. Clever is a digital learning platform for K-12 schools, one friendly place for single sign-on messaging and blah, blah, blah. So in the world that we live in now with public schools basically hemorrhaging attendance, right? People are choosing charter schools, private schools, online schools, home schools.
Yep.
Clever is one of many companies out there that are catering to those people flocking away from public schooling. There are choices out there, other choices, research it. Clever is not one of them. They are adamantly anti-Second Amendment. So if you are in this group of people that are fleeing public schools, look somewhere other than Clever.
I would go so far as to say is if you're fleeing public schools for a lot of the reasons that people are, it sounds like this company is kind of ran by the same kind of people.
Yes,
So.
yep. Eventbrite. Eventbrite is an American event management ticketing website similar to Ticketmaster type. I've never heard of them, never used them. If you're in a state or an area that actually uses Eventbrite, I don't have any advice of where to go. Do your own research, but Eventbrite is not your answer. Your money spent at Eventbrite for tickets is going directly against the Second Amendment cause. Keep that in mind. Next one. This is one, Fundera. I have not heard of Fundera by that name, but I have heard of NerdWallet. Have you heard of NerdWallet?
I've heard of NerdWallet, yep.
So this is one of those business loan companies, funders, basically a business, startup business looking for funds to get started up. This is a company that does that. They also, the NerdWallet part of it is a personal savings, credit score boosting, personal finance management type of system. So some of you out there may be familiar or use NerdWallet. There are other options for that also. Here's one that's a blast from the past. I didn't even know they're still around. Gateway Computers.
Huh.
Do you remember 20 years ago on the advent of home personal computers,
you
know, the desktops, you had 2, maybe 3 choices. Dell, was IBM one of them maybe?
IBM was around, but they were strictly professional business machines. I mean, they weren't into the home PC.
So it was Dell, Gateway, and I can't think of another one, but there's only a couple choices.
There was only a couple, yeah.
So I put a little blip out here, and if you hit the next one, this is today's pie chart of who owns the personal computer business. You see Acer. I've heard of actually mine's an Acer. Lenovo, my business laptop is Lenovo. Everybody knows Macintosh, Apple. We've got Dell down at the bottom, and then HP. Those are the ones that you really hear about a lot. And then you've got Gateway is packed away in a small, very small percent. You'd have to assume less than 5% of the market share, Gateway. But they used to be the big dog, dude.
They were. It was kind of them and Dell were kind of driving a lot of the PC market.
I'd like to think that their anti-Second Amendment stance is kind of what has caused them to go from a juggernaut to a joker.
That could very well be.
All right, next one, The Goat is an American online platform offering sneakers, luxury apparel, and accessories. Never heard of them?
Never heard of them either.
I wouldn't have bought from you anyways, but they are anti-Second Amendment. Next one, Guru.com is a freelance marketplace that allows companies to find freelance workers for commissioned work. Never heard of them?
Nope.
Here's another one. Impossible Foods, Inc. is a company that develops plant-based substitutes for meat products. We're going to beat this horse to death. The company's signature product is the Impossible Burger, which was launched in 2016 with a partnership with Burger King. Are they still offering that? Do you know?
I'm not sure if they are.
Does anybody out there know? JAS, real meat or don't bother. You are absolutely right, brother. Does anybody know if Burger King still offers the Impossible Burger? I never had one.
But there again, if I'm gonna have a burger, I'm gonna have a burger.
If I'm going through Burger King's drive-through, I'm not curious enough.
I mean, I'm still mad that they got rid of lard for the French fries at Wendy's and McDonald's, because I was not eating French fries to be healthy. Yeah. I wanted them to taste good. Yes. Now they're not healthy and they don't taste good.
Don't mess with it. All right, next one, Intuit Inc. I think we've all seen that in the tech side of things.
Yeah, now this one honestly, it hurts a little bit because they have TurboTax. That just makes taxes so much easier.
So much smoother. So what's the option? We don't know if HR Block is any better, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know if there is an option on this one.
But they have other things that you may have used. Credit Karma, guilty. QuickBooks, not anymore, but I used to when I had my own remodeling business. MailChimp, I've heard they're a bunch of
I have heard a lot of bad things about MailChimp, to the point where if you espouse certain ideas they don't like, they'll just cut your service off. And if you were someone who was utilizing mass mailing as part of your primary business core function, gone.
Wow. Here's one, J. Crew. I've never been one that gave a crap about stylish clothes, so I've never bought anything.
Well,
Is that J. Crew? I'm sorry, dude. I should have asked first. J. Crew is an American multi-brand, multi-channel specialty retailer. The company offers assortment of women's, men's, and children's apparel and accessories. As far as I'm concerned, J. Crew can go screw. Next one. This one, Jumbo Privacy is a business, BTC privacy and business to corporation privacy and security app that protects users on the Apple and Android phones. So I have an Apple, yours is a Droid?
Yep.
So we probably have something of this in there in our phones.
Unfortunately, yes, they get so much stuff squeaked into those things.
Yeah, we don't know.
You have no idea.
So Jumbo Privacy. Next one, Cabbage Inc. I have heard of this. It's an online financial technology company based in Atlanta, Georgia. The company provides funding directly to small businesses and consumers through the automated lending platform. They're owned by American Express. Highly, highly anti-Second Amendment. So that's it for anti-gun companies that do not deserve your cheddar, your hard-earned cheddar. So, I mean, think about it. Think about ways that you can spend your money wisely that actually goes to companies and people that don't hate you, that actually support your way of life.
And you have to be realistic about it. Sometimes you can't help but use some of these companies just because of circumstance, things like that. Just be aware so that if an option is available, you might want to make a different choice.
Check it out.
So, I guess we'll move on. Are we ready for the next one here?
Yep, hit it.
Okay. So, go ahead and pull this up here. It's another new product release, and this is from Brownells. It's the Brownells BRN9 upper for AR-type platforms. It's a dedicated upper for pistol caliber AR fans, and MSRP is $550. It's from Brownells, so you're only going to get a cheaper price, quite honestly, if it goes on sale or something. So it might be worth watching out for that. But anyway, it's a complete dedicated upper receiver assembly chambered in 9mm. It's in common with their BRN 180 series. The BRN 9, which is a blowback operated system, is entirely self-contained. It does not use the AR-15 recoil buffer system, so you don't need the receiver extension or the buffer tube, which that means you can have put a folding stock and or brace or it's a pistol thing, so paperwork required now until hopefully maybe not anymore. But you can now have a 9mm AR type pistol, and you don't have to have the little buffer thing sticking out back. So at least it will be like a more traditional pistol look.
Right.
The BR9's bolt is connected to a weight above it, which reciprocates inside the receiver. It's got recoil springs and stuff in there as well. It's a side charging handle that comes out the side, so you don't use the little, slingshotty thing. But the extra weight and the springs provide enough mass to make it blowback operated, so you don't need any of the gas system or anything like that. The upper snaps into any standard mil-spec AR-15 or BRN 180 lower receiver. And then you fit it with a 9mm magwell, or if you have a 9mm magwell equipped AR lower already, you're good to go. You don't need the buffer assembly, but if it's in there, you can leave it, so you don't have to take it out. It's a perfect match for purpose-built 9mm lowers, such as the Aero Precision EPC9. Works with lower setup to use 9mm Glock, Colt, Smith & Wesson, CZ, Scorpion, Heckler, and Koch MP5, and Sig Sauer P320 magazines, as well as Mean Arms Endo mags. Basically, if you have a 9mm lower setup, it'll run with that. Nice. Let's see, the charging handle is on the side up front and can be swapped between right and left sides. Non-reciprocating charging handle, so you don't have to worry about, jamming your thumb or whatever when you're shooting.
How are they compatible with Glock, Colt, Scorpion?
Well, your magwell would have to be compatible with it.
What so they're you saying can buy all those different I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
However your lower is set up.
However your lower set up, I got you.
The whole assembly is machined from a solid billet of 6061 T6 aluminum, so it's sturdy, all one piece. I can't say this word. Uninterrupted.
There you go.
Full length 1913 pick rail, so you can put
I do like that. I do like that. The full length. That's pretty cool.
So that's pretty much it. I just think this is kind of neat. So honestly, it's just another option that's out there. The main thing I like about it is now you can have a 9mm AR platform, and you don't have to worry about the buffer assembly.
Nice.
So I think that's pretty cool.
No, I agree. I think that's a good one. Good stuff. What's next?
I think what we have next will be rapid fire.
Rapid fire. All right. I like this episode. Hope you do too. These are a collection of memes and other pulled off of Twitters and wherever we see it.
Yep.
A collection of Craig and I's weekly homework, if you will.
Perusals through the things that are funny, sometimes serious.
Sometimes just factual, just like, hey, think about this. All right, first one, hat tip Colin Rugg off of Twitter. We're going to give you a weekly news cap of what's going on here in this last week, and he sums it up pretty well. Malaysia and China teaming up to take on the dollar with the Asian Fund. So they're kind of like the euro.
Yep.
They're now again positioning themselves to not need the dollar as the world currency. Saudi Arabia's crown prince says he's no longer cares about pleasing the United States.
That's a problem. This one's definitely in the not funny category.
No, it's not. This is again a weekly news recap. Trump was arrested. This is a couple weeks old. Trump was arrested for a 7-year-old hush money payment. Not going to beat that one to death. Joe Biden pushed for fracking in Ukraine just 3 days after his son joined Burisma board.
Fracking, but isn't that horrible evil thing that you shouldn't be allowed to do? Oh, that's just in our country.
That's just in our country. That's right. China says they are ready to facilitate peace talks with Ukraine. Isn't that what we used to do?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's
our standing is just
No, we are becoming very quickly the
afterthought.
has-been or afterthought, yes.
Biden blames Trump for Afghanistan withdrawal. This one is laughable in a bad way. Are you kidding me? How does he figure that the withdrawal, which is an absolute catastrophe, 14 lives lost, $80 billion worth of military arsenal left behind?
Because they've learned that the catchphrase, it's Trump's fault,
And that gets
resonates with their low information demographic.
very well said. Very well said. The Tennessee House expels 2 members for leading a mob at the insurrection
Yeah, but
at the
then
Capitol. It's an insurrection
Yeah, but then they got reinstated because
because they're Democrats.
that-
They have different
Kamala, went down there and was
Kamala went down to talk to the victims of the shooting.
No, she went
that's
down to
not
talk.
why she was down
no,
there?
she went down there to talk to the politicians that had got ousted. Which was completely by their rules and regulations for their state.
So that is a recap of how we are doing on the world stage. So it's sad.
It is.
It's very sad. All right, next one. Transgender mob assaults Riley Gaines for defending women's sports. Oh, this is the same thing. This is on the same one. Transgender. This is still weekly news recap. Transgender mob assaults Riley Gaines for defending women's sports. Then the last one is Biden's America trans terror, arresting the main political opponent, and China dominance. Really sounds like our future has some real big concerns.
It really does.
Sad. Let's just go on. Yeah, it's before I start cussing. Next one, if you'd put up there, shout out to Seth Plank. It's actually my brother, believe it or not. He took this picture of, it's funny.
It is funny.
Bud Light unveils a new easy open bottle caps. It says trans fluid on there if you can't read it. I think that's freaking hilarious. All right, this guy, he writes a lot of good stuff. Colin Rugg, again, a hat tip. While everyone was talking about trannies on beer bottles, BRICS, or the conglomerate between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, surpassed the G7 countries in global GDP.
Yep. So there again, that relates right to the one you mentioned just a little bit ago about the currency that they're using for those countries. So not only is what I would call the global reserve currency moving away from the dollar, which has huge repercussions, but now their actual GDP is surpassing us. We're no longer the dominant driving force in the world.
You ever watched a sports game, football, basketball, and your team is like just swamping on somebody, and then right before the end of the half, the other team starts making, and you feel that momentum just going away, and you know you're going to lose.
Yep.
This is how this feels.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Next one, my man, Kid Rock. This is something he posted on Twitter, and I think it's kind of deep.
Yep.
And it kind of tells us why we are in the place we are now with this whole transgender debacle. First, we overlook evil, then we permit evil, then we legalize evil, kind of the whole gay marriage thing.
Yep.
Then we promote evil. Now we're supposed to promote these drag queens shaking their junk in our kids' faces for story time. And then we celebrate, if you don't celebrate evil, right? And then we persecute those who still call it evil. So bring it on, bro, persecute me.
Yeah, that is sad, but this is actually, it's true.
It's so true.
This is the step and process it's
We've talked about that before, that you need to stand up against evil when it's just a small evil. If it's evil, it's evil. Stand up, or else it's gonna be a beast.
When you see evil and identify it, you need to let people know.
That's right.
Because the time to push back is right then.
That's right. All right, next one. Many of you heard about Dalai Lama taking some heat in the news. What a perv. But I think the Dalai Lama and Joe Biden here are enjoying themselves.
Yeah, okay, this is funny, but the original story
is not funny.
That was very disturbing to me. And it kind of took me, it kind of sideswiped me, or blindsided me, because I had no idea.
In my head, I want to say Dalai Lama's got to be 90 years old.
You think
I think his faculty.
He's just losing it?
I hope so. I mean, I'm not, what is it, Buddhism?
I believe so, yeah.
He's a human being, deserves, the benefit of the doubt. But my gosh,
it was definitely.
yes,
It was.
But
weird,
you know what would have
else.
been? This has already faded away in the news, right? It was like a
Yes.
one-day blip. If this was the Pope, can you imagine? Or some prominent evangelical?
Yep.
It wouldn't go away.
Wouldn't go away for
5 years.
Yeah, it'd be a long time.
All right, next, the Blaze hat tip. High-tech handguns. A high-tech handgun with fingerprint and facial recognition biometrics only shoots when it is in the hands of an authorized user. First take on it is cool technology, but anything electronic.
Whenever there's a failure point, and anything that's a biometric, because they've been trying this for a long time, and they can't get it to operate as reliably and consistently as what you would need. I mean, quite honestly, if they could come up with an easy, accurate, reliable, 100% it always worked way to do something like this, but then you still run into the problem of, okay, what if the good guy with a gun is someone who just happened to come by and was helping out, and you were incapacitated, but they could use your gun to defend you? Well, now all they'd have is a brick. I mean, there's pros and cons with all of it. This is all like a huge solution looking for a problem that I don't really think
it doesn't exist. My killer on this, where I'm like, no way, get it out of here, is my computer.
Yes.
I always have some sort of bug or some sort of thing that I need to relog on to. I just don't see this being bug-free. And when you need that gun, being like, come on, man, come on.
When something goes bump in the middle of the night, do you want to have to call tech support to make sure that,
That's a good one, tech support.
That your defense is going to work?
Just hold on a second. Just give me a second.
And as likely as not,
I'm on hold.
This is going to sound horrible. I'm just going to say it anyway.
I'm fifth in line.
You're not going to be able to understand the person you're talking to anyway. So,
all right, next one.
Hat tip. Get some heat on that one.
Hat tip Grabian. Most recently, this kind of went under the news. I don't even know if you heard about this.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised didn't bring it up and talk about it with each other.
A couple months, 3 months ago, this was something with the chicken farms and culling of animals and stuff like that. It was kind of big on our topics. We just had another 18,000 cows killed in a fire that has evidence that it was a terrorism act, domestic or foreign, I'm not sure, but what the heck is going on?
And it was more than just a fire, too. There was an explosion that preceded the fire. So, I mean, a big explosion.
So who are the likely suspects?
The chickens.
From Chick-fil-A? No, but honestly, who doesn't like cow farts?
Well, we talked about, there's a couple companies we just mentioned, they might be, it's that whole mindset. But the whole, we have to save the planet from something that is not really a problem. It's just...
You see Eric Adams, New York City mayor, had a public speech where he was telling his constituents they need to start eating better, less meat and less milk to save the planet.
Oh, for crying out loud.
That's right. I'm going to take my dietary advice from that jackass.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Hat tip Sherman Tank on the Twitters. Texas gun rights. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's who I'm giving a hat tip to. Texas gun rights. It says background checks equal gun registry. I agree.
Yep. Gun
registry equals gun confiscation list. I agree.
Agree.
Red flag laws equal gun confiscation orders.
Yep.
Gun-free zones equal temporary gun confiscation. Semi-auto ban equals premature gun confiscation.
Yep. All of that stuff.
The more you know.
The more you know.
It's gun control isn't about guns. I don't know how many different ways we can say this. Gun control isn't about the guns. It's about the control.
It's about the control.
Yep. That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
All right, next one, the Blaze. Hat tip the Blaze. Yet another train carrying hazardous materials. This is about 4 or 5 days ago. Derails and catches fire in Maine.
Dude, what is just...
Buttigieg has a good grip on what's going on in our infrastructure, and he's got it under control.
Yeah, he
All
does.
part of the plan.
He does. You know, he's once again. I heard him just real recently, and a presser was talking about again. You know, it's the racist road's fault.
Yes.
So
yes, it is.
the dude just doesn't.
The water's racist.
The water.
All right, next one, hat tip, aka face shots. I'm not sure what that is, but face hots. Face hots. A new text alert service called Woke Alert was created to help American shoppers spot products made by leftist woke companies. I like it.
I do too. I think that's pretty cool.
I haven't done any research to validate this, so I'm going to research this to make sure this is real. But this goes along with my earlier segment about companies that hate you. We need to stop giving our dollars to them if we possibly can.
Yep.
But I'm going to check out this Woke Alert company and see if we can come up with some companies to expose.
Yep, that'd be cool.
So, and the last, no, that's not the last one, close. In 2020, if you put the next one up there, in 2020 there were 287 cases of people dying by putting foreign objects in their anus. This is more people in a single year than people who have been killed by AR-15s in the last 5 years.
What?
So
that's disturbing. That's just disturbing.
Put it in perspective. The boogeyman is this AR-15, and
Yep.
people sticking stuff up their keister is a bigger killer than that.
Yep.
All right, next one. Florida lawmakers appear poised to pass legislation allowing the death penalty for pedophiles. I can tell you an update on this. It did pass. Florida is leading the way. I love this. I love this.
Yeah, there's nothing but good about this. The reality is, I mean, quit messing with our kids.
That's right.
I don't know how else you say it. All the stuff that they're doing
Is promoting these freaks to act on their twisted fetishes.
Yes. And it's been coming for a long time. People have been saying it's coming for a long time. Those people kept being called conspiracy theorists and all this kind of stuff, and that they're crazy, and look where we're heading.
Yep.
All right. Good on Florida.
Yep. Thank you, Florida. Thank you, Governor. Next one, hat tip Charlie Kirk. This is a good one. If a person shoplifts once, politicians should make sure he is put in jail. If a person shoplifts 18 times in a year, we should put the politician in jail.
Yep.
This is in reference to a study that showed that nearly a third of all shoplifting arrests in New York City last year involved only 327 people. 327 people were arrested over 6,000 times for the same freaking offense.
That is just incredible. I mean, it's a unified. That is the definition of a crime gang.
That's right. And a little smack on the wrist and putting people at people are losing their livelihoods. These little shops and people are losing jobs because they can't keep the doors open. Those people don't have any protection from their government. The government needs to be held accountable.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, next one. This is a picture. Let's blow this bad boy up. All right, so on the left, just one beer, then I'm going to go home. That is Richard L. Levine in Wakefield, Massachusetts.
You just dead named him.
Oh, I did name him. One Bud Light later, and we've got the first transgender admiral.
Oh, my goodness.
In health, whatever. What does she do? Or what does he do? I'm sorry. I misgendered her. What does he do?
I honestly, it's. I think it's with
him and Buttigieg play patty cake.
Yeah, and something with the like home and health services, something like that. I can't remember. Honestly, I try to block it out.
Yeah,
it's very disturbing.
All right. Next one is hat tip the Taliban Public Relations Department. These guys troll Biden so bad, and it's. I'm no fan of the Taliban, but for as horribly as Biden did with the withdrawal, I think it's kind of funny. This guy, whoever's running this Twitter page, our magnificent movement summarized in a single clip. We went from Honda motorcycles to the Asia's fourth best equipped army, thanks to our glorious heroism and a little bit of help from Sleepy Joe. We return the favor by supporting Biden-Harris 2024. He is a wise president, LOL. Is that not the best trolling you've ever seen?
It is, and how sad is it that the Taliban is so much more aware of the reality than
than half of America
is. Yeah.
Who is a Republican that you absolutely despise?
Oh, it's hard to list.
Liz Cheney comes to mind.
Liz Cheney comes to mind.
How about Crybaby Kinzinger?
He would be on the list.
So Bud Light has come out with their new can with Mr. Crybaby. It's called a 16-ounce Rhino Cryboy. So what a douche. All right, next one is from Not the Bee. Hat tip. Here's how the media covered the arrest of a Florida kid who threatened to shoot up a middle school. Miami Herald's headline was 13-year-old son of Rebecca Jones, whistleblower, who clashed with DeSantis, is arrested over memes.
That is just... I'm not surprised.
I'm not either.
It's just... Oh, goodness.
One-sided media. We're up against the wall there. Real quick, Craig, we got a couple of... Uncle Mike's finally checked in. Where you been, bro? Check out Terry Solomon. He helps the vets out, too. I will check him out.
Okay.
He's made some other comments. Prophecy being fulfilled. I don't buy Hines. District attorneys, too. Yep, you're right. You had mentioned, Craig, the Soros-funded district attorneys that are kind of turning things upside down.
Yep, and for people who, Soros uses his money to peddle his whims and influence all over the globe. And our country used to be immune to it, but anymore,
money.
Money.
Who do you think is more susceptible to being a sellout? Do you think, in the most recent history, do you think politicians are sold out more or scientists? Or both? I'll give you an easy out, both.
It's a toss-up now, because, it used to be, that went back and forth, but generally speaking, scientists would tend to stay in their lane and try to, the research and the facts are what mattered.
Yep.
But now,
dignity of your work and not taking the payoff in order to skew something to benefit whoever's paying you.
And that it all started going downhill, quite honestly, when the government started spending enormous amounts of money backing all these research projects, and then scientists suddenly, it became more and more not about the science, but about what do you have to do and say to get the grant money.
Yep.
And then once you go down that path, well, basically you're just accepting money to produce a result. So instead of researching to find out what the result is, you're getting paid for a result, and then so now you're researching until you can find something that proves that result.
What happens if you don't trust the science?
Well, anymore.
Science denier.
Yeah, you're one of those crazy conspiracy theories.
Yep. Who's running like a 52 wins to 0 losses record here in the last 2 years.
Yeah, so far, I'd have to say those wacko crazy conspiracy theory people, they're a lot more right. Now, the flat earth people, still, there's a problem there. But
you want to hit this 7 Beatles of Doom question before we wrap it up?
7 Beatles of Doom might be a question too far out for this show, but in your opinion... should I read this? Did the global war on terror end in Afghanistan and quickly got replaced by Cold War II? Actually, no, that's a really good question, and it's not too far out. Did the global war on terror end in Afghanistan? No. The global war on terror is still it's percolating. But it did pretty much get replaced by Cold War II. And Cold War II is not... We're calling it more of a Cold War, but it's kind of a proxy hot war right now. Now, they keep trying to say, no, it's not. The Ukraine and the Russians, it's their fight. It's like, no, we've got to... You remember this thing called Vietnam? Okay. We supplied material. Tons of material. I've actually got some archival footage that I got through friends, I'll just say, showing the immense amount of military equipment that we sent was, being lined up to send to Vietnam. I'll see if I can find that. It'd be a good video at some point. So first we sent aid and equipment. Then we sent consultants. And then before you know it, we were there fighting. Well, we're already at the consultant stage now in Ukraine. And I have heard, I don't know if this is true, and I haven't seen anything corroborating it yet, but I have heard that we have actually been in line of fire, some of our people.
Well, that's what that leaker...
That's what the leaker's saying.
Was it Reddit? No.
Yeah.
Was it Reddit?
Well, no, it's I can't remember where that was leaked, but boy, they're going after him hard.
Yeah.
According to what the information that's been leaked, we're in line of fire now.
Yeah. Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. But I don't know for certain. Because the problem is you can't... For all those people out there that say, oh, you guys just believe everything, it's like, no, don't believe anything you hear.
Yeah.
Research stuff and find out what the truth is, because everything is spin these days.
I'd like to throw something out there about the war on terror ending in Afghanistan. I think as we know it, as we think about the war on terror with Middle Eastern being the boogeyman, I think they've changed the war on terror to be more focused on perceived domestic terrorists.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of truth to that.
Think about all the verbiage that is thrown around willy-nilly by high-end politicians and news media of very easily calling patriots or people that are protesting. They called the stinking parents in the Loudoun County
the school board
meetings domestic terrorists.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
So that I feel like they're okay. So we're not so much worried about the Middle Eastern terrorists. Now let's label. Now that we've built up the word terrorist to be such a bad word, let's focus it on our political adversaries.
Yep. And I do think there's some truth to that. Now, but his question was more along the line of what we would typically really call the war on terror.
Yeah, yep.
There's still some stuff that's going on, but for all intents and purposes, the big stuff that we were doing, that is pretty much it's been wound down because it's been replaced. He's absolutely right. I remember years ago the people used to say, the military-industrial complex, it's just evil, and I used to go, okay, yeah, whatever. That's just your the liberal spin on stuff. Well, it's interesting now that the people who would have been historically liberally spinning stuff to say how bad it was that the industrial military complex
are now all about
the industrial military complex.
They got the old blue and yellow flag hanging out there.
Yep.
It's in their name on their profile. It's weird.
It really is.
We are the anti-war people now.
Yes, but to be fair, I'll say conservatives. We were the ones always willing to go to war if it's needed, but the people who go to war are also the ones most against war, because war it's a terrible thing. Anyone who experiences really almost any aspect of it, it changes you forever.
Forever. Yep.
I mean, we have ruined so many of our young people forever. And we need to really make sure that we're going to war when we need to, and not just to satisfy some weird political agenda that doesn't really drive anything for the country.
I like Reagan's kind of viewpoint on this is be strong enough to just wipe anybody out, but be very slow to act on it.
Yes.
Right? Have the deterrence of the biggest and the most technologically advanced military, Navy, all of it. But be very, very, very slow to act and make sure that that's really what you want to get into.
Right. Because once you engage, the threat of the engagement is the detriment.
Yeah, that's right.
Once you engage, you're past the detriment phase, and now you're fighting. And, you can scare a badger away, but once you corner it, it's on.
Yeah.
And at that point, there's no guaranteed winner or loser.
That's right. That's right. Doesn't matter. Look at how long we were in Afghanistan, and they were able to carry out their war plan in the caves and effectively stalemate the thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or,
basically,
some people even say they won. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know how
they did. If you look at it from a total aspect of win or loser, they won because we left, and now they're in power. Yeah. Like nothing ever happened.
That's right.
Well, except now they're even in more power because we gave them a huge military. So they did win.
Okay. I just
We
I have
won
a hard time
just about every
stomaching that.
battle, but we lost the war. And there again, the main reason is because we let the politicians run it. As soon as you hear well, we have to have very tight rules of engagement. Okay, it's a war. You're either going to fight it or you're not going to fight it. And if you're not going to fight it, then don't pretend.
Yep.
And we did a lot of pretending.
Well, that was very sour and can you end it on something positive? You got anything you can pull out of your?
The
pocket?
weather's been great. Actually, we were
You got
able.
your garden in?
We're getting the garden in. We were able to get out to the range this
Yes.
past weekend.
Can't wait to see that footage.
We finally got the Henry Homesteader out there and shot it. And spoiler alert! Oh, it's wonderful. Well, full details will follow. That video should drop hopefully Monday. But we got it was a great day. The range was. There was still standing water in places, which was weird because it had been really, sunny and windy and warm for like a solid week, and it was still wet and spongy. But so that was a good note. We'll leave it with that. I mean, it was a great day. Any day you can go out shooting, pretty much, is a good day.
Amen, brother.
So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up there. As always, if you like this type of content, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified when we release new content. We value your comments and feedback.
Yeah,
Make sure you let us know.
Thanks for the action tonight. Appreciate it.
So I guess we'll go ahead and kind of wrap up there. Keep in mind, next week we still will have a show, but it is going to be pre-recorded. It'll be a premiere. We're going to be there to be able to converse with you as far as the comments, but it will look peculiarly like it was all pre-recorded because it was. But the following week then we'll be back live. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up there. So as always, until next time, stay safe.